This is Bubble Dizzy, one of the 16-bit versions, not sure which. I think it's probably DOS or something like that. Basically, you've got to get up through these underwater caves. I think the story is that Dizzy was on a cruise or something, and he seems to have a habit of booking cruises on pirate ships, because he ended up being made to walk the plank, and now he's got to get back up again. A little word of advice, Dizzy. Pirates were not really all yo-ho-ho and harm-yardies. They were thieves and murderers. And these flipping things really are a nuisance. I mean, quite often you just end up standing there just for hours on end waiting for the right bubble to come past. The bubbles incidentally burst when you move off them. They also burst eventually anyway. Does nobody involved in the making of this game actually know what a bubble actually is? Yes, bubble disappeared. Not sure where the air went, up his arse presumably. Trying to avoid this. I think you've got to collect gems or something as well. Or make a necklace for Daisy, his girlfriend. A long time ago I had Bubble Dizzy on the Commodore 64. Yeah, I remember playing it just for the music. So it looked and sounded really great. And I mean, why couldn't they have put that sort of effort into the Commodore 64 versions of the proper Dizzy games, the ones with puzzles and all that? They were just, and on the Commodore 64 they just seem to be all Spectrum ports. Just full of slowdowns and glitches and things. Whereas this bloody thing gets up doing proper Commodore 64 version. I think this is either the Amiga version or the DOS version. I think they look quite similar. After he's finished this, he's got to get down another underwater cavern. I'm not sure how that works. He gets out one underwater cavern and then jumps straight down into another one. But this is really the kind of thing that was happening to Dizzy. As soon as he got popular, they started putting him into all these bloody awful games that had absolutely nothing to do with him, or that were just kind of a quick cash grab. Bubble Dizzy, and there was another one called Dizzy Down the Rapids. Bugs from a game called Fantastic Dizzy. They were just sub games, so you only did them once and that was it. But they've been turned into umpteen levels worth. Dizzy Down the Rapids wasn't in the Amiga version of Fantastic Dizzy, or if it was, then you didn't need to play it to complete the game. And imagine, if you've ever played Tubin at the arcades, imagine that with all the speed and urgency and addictiveness surgically removed. And then you've got Dizzy Down the Rapids. I mean, you do not take a sub-game and try and make it into an entire complete game. You wouldn't have the bulldozer level from Streets of Rage 3 and then try and make it into an old game full of stuff like that. There are also a couple of other sub-games in Fantastic Dizzy. And there's one where you had to fire a crossbow at trolls outside a castle and avoid the rocks that they threw at you. There was another one on a minecart. You had to steer it along, and there were junctions and things. You had to collect all the stars and avoid rocks that were blocking the way in some of the rail bits. I'm pretty sure if the Dizzy franchise had continued, they'd have probably been made into games as well, on their own. And it is often just so difficult to get past those stupid creatures. I mean, often you'll be sitting on a blown platform waiting for a bubble to appear. Finally you get one, and there's some bloody silly thing bobbing about in front of it so you can't get to it. I mean, this kind of game is just money for old rope, really, isn't it? Put a popular character into a load of old crap and hopefully a lot of mugs will buy it. The only Dizzy spin-off I can think of was any good was Quick Snacks on the Spectrum. I mean, that really was a good game. You have to collect all the fruit. You can move all these blocks around and avoid the enemies or crush them with the blocks and stuff. And I remember that being really addictive. And of course the Commodore 64 version of Quick Snacks had absolutely bugger all to do with the Spectrum version. It was just something that you looked vaguely like Dizzy wandering about, and you had to lead all these stupid little things to the exit, and it was really slow. In the Amiga version they basically messed it up because all the sprites and that were too big and just destroyed the maze element. But I mean, some games, as I think someone else pointed out, were made to live and die on the 8-bit machines. This game, on the other hand, I think, should have been strangled at birth. Fallen down yet again, killed by a jellyfish. Can't get out of here without being hit by the jellyfish. Yes, nice bit of playtesting there. Oh, look at that. How are you supposed to get out of there without being hit by that stupid bloody great lump? Doesn't look like I'm going to make it much further. I can't be bloody bothered anyway. It's getting boring now. I mean, whoever thought this was a good idea? I mean, one reviewer I remember described this as the worst Dizzy game ever. I think Panic Dizzy actually has that special place in all our hearts. Now they're going to want me to put my name in there. No, I don't want to. Fuck off!